if you go into the chat right now, we're reading just about all the chats out there, except for one is people saying that they're peeing. And I appreciate you guys being here with us on this journey as we continue to react to this interview on Fox News with Kamala Harris. And again, for those of you who may not have tuned in at the beginning, I haven't seen this. So this is my pure hot take reaction to all this.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law. So do you support that?
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
So decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
I think we know who the flip-flopper is.
She basically said, I ain't about that life no more. And Ross, do you believe that?
No, Gene, what interview are you watching? She said, I will follow the law. You know, we're not electing her to be a pedestrian on 2nd Avenue. We're electing her to be president. She was a United States senator. Those are the people who make the laws. She was the vice president, which is actually the head of the Senate, right? And a member of the executive branch, quasi-legislative branch too. You're running to make the laws and sign bills into law.
Right.
You cannot be a spectator and get away with saying, I will follow the law. No, you want to know what laws you support.
Yes, I agree with you. That's the point I was going to make. The answer is insufficient. I was trying to do a gotcha there for everybody, but you ran right through it, which is okay, by the way.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. My whole thing was that
lawyering, and we don't do that around here.
Yeah, I'm trying to lawyer you. But basically what I was trying to say was any politician that just says, I will follow the law, people, you got to realize, as Ross said, they make and they change and they revise laws. That's what they see their job being. So when someone says, I'm going to follow the law, of course they're going to follow the law after they remake it or revise the law. And Bret Baier was trying to get to that by saying, well, your vice president wrote these into law. Is that something you're going to do? And she gave the same stock non-answer and gave us a little word salad on the side. But guys, one thing I do want to bring up, we've now been at this in the time of the interview, about 10.5 minutes. It's been all immigration. I'm hoping we move on to different topics, right?
I mean,
there's a couple more topics, Gene.
I don't want to spoil it for you. You haven't seen it yet.
All right. I'm going back to it.
This is a time when voters, especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every commercial. But many of them add noise, but a few of them seem to break through. This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
Oh, God. Throughout every baseball game, I hear this ad all the time.
Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system.
Someone explain to me what the medical necessity of that type of surgery would be.
Mental retardation would be my guess. But I'd like to back something up for just a second. Since she keeps saying she's going to follow the law, remember how you said most politicians, so the one thing I will say is please note the color of her eyes. So, because she's full of things that turned her eyes brown.
You're full of shit.
And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what? You got to
happened
take
during
responsible for what
his
happened in your
presidency.
administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in his presidency.
It's in
So
black and white.
would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment surgeries?
I will follow the law.
Over and over again. It's tired.
Just as I think Donald Trump would say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think he spent $20 million on those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people. Whereas, at $20 million on that ad, on an issue
She
that,
getting mad again.
as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again, his policy was no different. Look at where we are, though.
They say
on
it was
plans for
different,
the
but we'll
American
move
people,
on.
I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are the backbone of America's economy.
Yeah, it's all about the free money with her plans.
Who's going to pay for it?
Hang on.
My plans for the economy will strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates, Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal, which have all studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy, his would make them weaker,
Why do you
would
think more
ignite
people
inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. Those are the facts.
Why do you think more people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you?
There you go, pal. That was for you. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show.
It has been clear to those who study and understand how economic policy works that moving forward, because I do believe the American people are ready to turn the page on the divisiveness and the type of rhetoric that has come out of Donald Trump. People are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that. His plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country and blow up our deficit.
It's interesting you said turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done
Not a
something
goddamn
differently
thing.
than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
That's a change. That's a definite
How
change.
far into this are we, Gene?
We are now about 15 minutes into the total interview.
I will say that is the closest thing to something substantive that she has said so far. Really no substance there, but at least it's something new.
Yeah, that is something new. This is damage control, right, Rick?
I mean, that's all it is. I mean, she's been spinning for what did you say we're into, like 12, 13 minutes now?
15 minutes.
So yeah, I mean, we're halfway through what the allotted time was supposed to be. They didn't even wind up getting the full 30, and she has still been doing nothing but spinning. I mean, look at the face. Look, just look at the expression. She looks like a deer in the headlights right now.
Because Rick, I was going to say, she said that my administration will not be a continuation of the Biden administration. Okay, tell us more. How so? What do you disagree with?
Well, so here's my problem with that, though. How is it not going to be a continuation of the Biden presidency when she's already said she wouldn't do anything differently, even if she could, for the last 4 years?
Yeah, and even if we take her at face value, this is a chance. This is the largest audience she will ever have. Even though it's a Fox News audience, It's going to make news no matter what she says here. This was her chance. She could have picked one or two of the more fucking crazy things their administration did and say, we won't do that anymore.
Absolutely. By the way, we got like 27 or so in the YouTubes. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel. If you're on Rumble, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you're on the Twitters, if you're on X, where Rick is bringing us good luck and increased viewership, give us a thumbs up. Give Rick a thumbs up on KLRN Radio. If you're not a follower there already, follow on KLRN Radio. Thanks for all the support, you guys. You're doing great tonight.
Let me do something for you real quick. All right, so if you're watching and listening on KLRN Radio, make sure you're following along with us at KLRN Radio. You'll notice 2 QR codes on the screen. One is to automatically subscribe to Gene's YouTube. The other one is to buy his book. Scan away.
All right. So, well, speaking of the book, Schooks, Crooks, Lies, and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, available right now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores. I will grift the shit out of this show. You have seen it already, folks. I'm going to keep on going till the wheels fall off.
You need your this guy's a grifter clip.
Oh, I will put it up later. I'll put it in between right here on the replay.
This guy is a grifter.
Here we go, guys.
And like every new president that comes in to office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector, and others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing, addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot.
Free money! Everybody get your free money. Alonzo Suates, thanks for joining us here on the YouTubes. Nah, there are 20 days left. She can do it herself. Just keep dodging questions, Harris. Loving all that.
So she says, you know, I have not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. Okay, you were a senator and a vice president. So you've been there for, close to a decade. Donald Trump was there for 4 years. So what was the point of that? Like, I don't understand what she's trying to say. J.D. Vance is in his second year of a Senate seat, right? Like, he hasn't spent his life in D.C. either. So, like, she's just uninformed. Like, you know what I mean? She has no substance. There's no qualifier here with her.
It's called distinctions without a difference, pal. She's trying to distinguish herself from Donald Trump, but doesn't realize that it's more than just Donald Trump that she's running against. She's running against a very populist movement that has people joining it that weren't a part of it before. People like Elon Musk, people like J.D. Vance, people like Vivek Ramaswamy that are out there beating the drum, really, for that message about we need to change. Rick, how does Kamala Harris get away with being the candidate for change when she's part of this administration that left this nation in the mess that we're in?
Do you want the actual answer, or do you want me to lie to you?
I want the actual.
Because it's the media.
I can take it. Dude, I'm a mess man. I can take anything.
It's the media. It's the only reason she's been able to get away with any of this. They have tried this grand rebranding. Let's not forget that 4 months ago, there were headlines everywhere that Joe Biden had to get rid of her to save the ticket. And then Joe Biden shit the bed on the debate stage. Clooney came out and said, yeah, he's not the same guy that we know. And all of a sudden, Nancy Pelosi's pulling strings behind the scenes. And now she's realizing she's screwed up so bad that now she's walking it back. Well, I never told him he had to quit. I just told him he needed to run a different campaign. This is what I'm saying. The entire Democratic Party is in more disarray than I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've been doing this for 16 years.
Rick, how many Democrats do you think right now are secretly thinking, man, we should have kept Joe?
Pretty much all of them at this point. And it's like I said, I have a sneaking suspicion that Joe Biden has already called Nancy Pelosi because they haven't spoken since the coup. But I guarantee you, they've probably spoken today, and it's probably on FaceTime or whatever, just so he can do this because that's what they've earned as far as he's concerned. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see it, but my
I can't see it, but you can narrate it later. By the way, Raptor on X right now reminding us that Musk just put another $75 million into his Trump PAC for this last 20 days that we're going to be experiencing. Get ready for more and more and more ads out there, guys. It's getting real. Back to Kamala's non-answers with Bret Baier.
About those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, you still wrote the book.
So I just want to say, Bret Baier is a professional, right? He just watched other interviews and he knows her whole cadence. He knows what she's going to say. So he had clips ready and little one-liners ready. Like the guy was ready because she is on script, like you said. He knows what she's going to say to every one of these fucking questions.
And he's trying he's trying his best to get her off script. And of course the script, the new way forward, as Rick is saying, is socialism and communism. Back to the interview here.
You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
Excuse me, I gotta call bullshit. Donald Trump has not been involved in politics for a decade in total.
Hold on, Gene, you're going to spoiler alert. It gets worse. It comes up.
Okay. Sorry, I'm reacting.
And have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
that is about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Bret.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track.
By the way, for those wonks out there that want to talk about what this poll is, this is from Marquette Law School. So take it for what it's worth. But given it's coming from Marquette, to say that it's on that 8 out of 10 are saying it's on the wrong track is saying quite a bit.
That track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
you
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Oh, bro, it's so bad.
Oh, no! What was that?
Oh.
I would like to remind you that you thought we were both exaggerating.
Yes, I did.
I want to point that out right now. You thought we were.
It's like, bitch, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That is the worst. That is the biggest own of 2024.
Oh.
If you like that clip from our new show, Behind Enemy Lines, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other shows, and tune in live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.